keeping people part of the system, part of society is what we want. We don't want people living outside the, sort of our social norms. We want people to participate in those, but people won't participate in them unless they get a fair shake, unless the system is set up in a way to actually address everyone's wrongs and to give people, rich or poor, a fair opportunity to have their disputes heard and resolved fairly.
We knew how to be heard and to be seen, but was people going to actually listen to us? A lot of times people hear you, but they don't listen to you. So to get people to listen, having an attorney with us was a fast.
So much of what we do doesn't end up in us turning around and filing a lawsuit. Most of it is, some sort of advocacy in a setting where we're trying to get people to change their minds, and most of the time get them to change their minds, and that gets something straightened out for the family that we're trying to help.
And it's sort of like an emergency room for people who have legal problems. It's the last place they can go to for help. For a lot of them, it's the only place they can go to for help.
When someone is getting evicted from their house, when someone has their government benefits cut, when someone has mental health needs that aren't being met, they don't have the right to a lawyer paid for by the government. And so legal aid is meant to be there for those people.
They may have cognitive impairments, they may have dementia, they may have physical disabilities.
We expect people to function. We see people and we just think, oh, they can do it. But we really don't know what's going on with that person. And until we meet people where they are, we will never know.
There are tough challenges for poor people here because, things that are illegal in other states aren't illegal here. And just the common person thinks, oh, well, if your landlord doesn't make repairs, you don't have to pay your rent. Well, in Virginia, that's not true.
Imagine you're about to be evicted wrongfully and thrown into the streets, with your children. And you don't know what to do. A lawyer can stop it, but you don't know a lawyer. You can't afford a lawyer. You have no place to go but legal aid. And they'll stop it. They'll take care of it. So and again, it's not it's not liberal, conservative. It's just basic helping people, taking care of people.
Someone said to me once that children are kind of the receptacles for everything that's wrong with society, and certainly looking at the kids that we work with, I would say that that's true. The state on average last year spent about $3,400 per child for public education. The flip side is we spend over $70,000 a year to lock up a kid. They do something stupid in school, they get charged criminally, they get thrown out of school. And so now we have a kid who had a small problem in school who can become a big problem in the community. The juvenile justice system is becoming the school and the mental health provider for a lot of kids who would benefit from getting that help earlier on.
In my opinion, the way to help at-risk kids to some degree is to help their families have a better and more stable life.
Children have the right to have lawyers who talk with them before they go to court. To have lawyers who explain to them the consequences of what's going on. And some children get those lawyers and some children don't.
One of the greatest challenges and issues for my clients, they don't have the resources to live at a level where they're safe and have their medical needs met. We're not a society that takes care of our elders at home anymore. And the pressures on the family members of a person in a nursing home are extraordinary. There are people who go to the home every morning and every mealtime to be sure that their loved one actually gets fed and gets water. If you read the survey reports, which is when the health department comes in and examines a home to find the kind of errors, omissions, mistakes, some of them are just amazing. Sexual assaults, medication errors, things that should not happen. The Piedmont Area Regional Family Council is an initiative. It's a group that the partnership started, the Community Partnership for Improved Long-Term Care, decided to bring together family members of nursing home residents who could work collectively to address the problems that they're experiencing with their loved one being in a nursing home.
There's a lot of fear. There's a lot of fear of speaking up. There's a lot of fear of retaliation. Some people say, I can't talk to you. Are you crazy? I don't want this coming back on mom. They're worried about that. They're worried that if they speak out alone, their loved one will get even worse care. We have to build people's confidence that there will be the resources to help them if they have the courage to speak out on these issues.
Our Farm and Immigrant Worker Program, which is a statewide program, spends hundreds, I think, of hours a year out in migrant worker camps, at day labor sites, out at places where immigrant workers congregate, to make sure that we let people know that they have a right to minimum wage, they have a right to overtime in most circumstances, they have a right to be paid for the work that they do. Unfortunately, there are some people who think that they can get immigrant workers to work hard and add value to their business and then cheat them or not pay them at all. And I think, that's where you cross the line.
I know it's tough. I know the issues that we bring to them is tough. But I see the passion when I walk through the hall. I see the passion when I talk to them.
We have a lot of resources. If we can't fix it here, I don't know where it can be fixed.
And it kind of falls upon the rest of us to pick up the slack and to provide and to fund and to support an outfit like Legal Aid.
I have a tremendous respect for every single one of those attorneys.
You know you've done enough when every bone is sore. You know you've prayed enough and you don't ask anymore. You know you're coming to some kind of understanding.